Good morning, everybody. I'm just going to finish setting up the camera and make sure I'm in frame. You're going to need a chair, a couple of yoga blocks if you have them, and a yoga belt today for our practice. I just saw that the chat is not available right now. I'm not sure why, but hopefully everything else is working well. But on mine, at least, it says that the chat is not available. So just going to check on my lighting and everything, and we'll start it here in just a few minutes. Hope everyone is having a great week, a good morning. I saw there's a couple more people on right now, so if you missed it, you're going to need a chair today, a couple of yoga blocks if you have them, and a yoga strap. I have 10:30 on my clock here, so I'm going to start at about 10:32. So you have a couple minutes if you're gathering your props and getting all set up. We'll start here in just a couple of minutes. We're working on our shoulders today. The idea for the practice came yesterday when I took a day off, which just simply means I wasn't planning to do anything productive yesterday. And I was on the couch a lot, watching a lot of Netflix, and my shoulders were feeling a little tight from poor posture. So today we got to open those shoulders back up. We're going to get started here in just about 1 minute. So if you haven't gathered your props, a couple blocks, have a chair available, yoga strap if you have, and blankets if you want. I keep seeing the numbers of participants go from 10 to 9 and back to 10 and back to 9. So I don't know if someone's deciding if they want to practice today. I just saw someone else jump on, so you'll need a chair, a couple yoga blocks, a strap, and a blanket if you'd like it. We're going to get started here right away. I'm going to give us about 15 more seconds and then get started. So gather your props, and we're going to start getting centered here. So have your yoga strap nearby. We are going to begin seated to do some centering. However, we will be using the strap shortly. And if you'd like to sit up onto a support, perhaps your folded blanket or maybe even a yoga block, feel free. We are going to remain seated after we do our centering for the first few minutes of our practice. So finding a comfortable, tall, seated position. You can close your eyes or soften the gaze toward the floor in front of you. Just starting to turn your awareness inward. Noticing how the body is feeling this morning. Just noticing if you're holding on to any tension through the body. We are going to be focusing on the shoulders today, so check in with those shoulders, letting them soften and release down away from your ears. You might try to line the shoulders up to stack on top of the hips, bringing the ears in line over the shoulders. Shifting your focus to your breath. Just feeling your breath move through the body. Feeling your belly rise and fall. Maybe feeling the chest rise and fall. Just settling into a nice, slow, and steady rhythm of breath that you can carry throughout our practice today. Let's take one more deep breath here. And then blinking the eyes open. Just start by rolling the shoulders back. So if you're not comfortable the way you're seated, just change your positioning. Rolling those shoulders backwards a few times. And rolling the shoulders forward. Let's give the neck a little stretch, dropping the right ear toward the right shoulder. Maybe the right hand on top of the head to help with that stretch. And make sure that left shoulder stays nice and heavy. Breathe into that stretch. Inhale back to center and exhale to the other side. Left ear to left shoulder. Left hand onto the head, right shoulder is heavy toward the floor. And bring the head back up to center. Slide your fingers together. Bring the right pinky finger to the bottom of your grip. Lift your palms up. Deep breath in. Stretch the arms all the way up. Let those shoulders slide down away from your ears. Let's take a few deep breaths here. Trying to keep the spine long. Don't let the belly push forward. With an exhale, take the right hand to the floor. Left arm reaches up and over. Rooting down through that left hip bone. So you get that big side stretch through the left side body. Inhale to come all the way up to center, and as you exhale, we're twisting to the right. Right hand coming behind you for support. Inhale to center. Slide your fingers together, left pinky finger on the bottom of that grip. Palms flip out. Inhale, sweep those arms up. Shoulders sliding down away from your ears. Rooting down into the earth with your sitting bones as you press those palms up. Deep breath. With an exhale, take the left hand to the floor, right arm stretches over here. Nice side stretch. Inhale to come all the way up to center. Exhale to twist to the left. Inhale to center. We're just going to take a couple of body circles here. So with the hands on the legs, you're going to bring the chest forward, over to the right, and then as you come back, a little round in the spine, almost like you're doing a seated cat and cow. So just going all the way around. You can hear my floor squeaking as I move. Old house. And then go the other direction. Coming back to center. Let's reach for our belt. Take those hands nice and wide. If you've been to a class with me before, you likely know what's coming next. We want to keep that belt nice and tight, so no slack on the belt. You want to keep your elbows nice and straight. Shoulders down and back. As you inhale, take the arms all the way up, straight through the elbows. As you exhale, take the arms all the way behind you. Now, if this isn't giving you any stretch, you might need to take your hands a little closer together. If you're getting too much stretch and you can't keep the elbows straight, then you need to take your hands farther apart. So just moving nice and slow, keeping the belt tight. Don't let it come loose. Couple more breaths here. Excellent. And then you can move the belt off to the side for now. We're coming up to a tabletop position, hands and knees. Blanket under your knees if you'd like. Stack your wrists under your shoulders, your knees under your hips, starting with a nice long spine, neutral back. Deep inhale. Exhale to round into cat spine. Tailbone is lengthening. Gaze shifts toward the thighs. Inhale to arch through the back as you reach your tailbone up, lifting up through the chest, collarbones broaden, looking up. Move with your breath, your pace. And then bringing your spine back to a neutral position. We're coming into the upper body, thread the needle. So you're starting by taking your left hand. And today we're going to stretch up first. So right hand stays on the floor. You're going to open up through that left arm. And then bring it all the way under and through the right, bringing that left shoulder and ear down to the floor. Inhale, press into your right hand, coming back to your tabletop. And then other side. Start by lifting the right arm up, open. And then bring the right arm under and through the left. Right shoulder and ear come down to the floor. Breathe in. I know when I opened up that right arm, that right shoulder, let me know it was very tight. Maybe you too. Press into your left hand, come back to your tabletop position. Let's take those knees wide apart. Slide the toes to touch together, sitting all the way back to the heels. Fold forward. I want you to keep those arms stretching forward a little bit active today because I want you to get that little extra stretch in the shoulders. Forehead down to the floor or onto a block. Deep belly breath. Inhale, lift yourself up so that you can walk your hands over to the right side. So we're coming into our side stretching child's pose. Inhale, come on up. Walk the hands back through center, all the way over to the left side. Fold. Inhale back to center. Back to hands and knees, bringing those knees under the hips. Let's walk those hands so the wrists come slightly ahead of the shoulders, preparing for downward facing dog. Curl the toes, press up and back. Now this is our first real leg stretch here today. So just be aware of those hamstrings, the calves. The legs might feel a little tight still. You can pedal the feet, walk it out. Keep the knees bent if you need to. And then start to walk your feet towards your hands. Hands can come towards your feet if necessary. Keep a bend in the knees. Let the arms hang down or reach for opposite elbows. Neck is soft. Ragdoll. Slowly press through the feet, coming all the way up to standing. Okay, so we're going to kind of a little bit of an experiment. I'm going to be honest, guys. So if you've done classes with me before, you know I love to do wall stretch to help stretch out the shoulders and also the lower body a little bit. But since I'm not set up really near a wall and you might not be either, we're going to use our chair. Now, if you happen to be at a wall, you can go ahead and do your wall stretch like you would do in class. But if you're like me and you only have a chair nearby, this is how we're going to do it. You're going to start with the back of the chair facing you so that your hands will rest sort of toward the top of the chair seat. Once your hands are there, you're going to walk your feet back. Hinge from the hips. Now we're still lining our hips and ankles up. We're still actively reaching those arms forward just like we would if they were at the wall. And our head is still coming in between the arms, so it's not hanging down. You want to extend back through the hips. forward through the crown of the head. This is giving me a lovely stretch through my back. I can feel it a little bit through my hamstrings as well, but mostly through my back and shoulders, which is what I wanted. So hopefully you're feeling this too. Let's take a couple more breaths here. And then start to walk your feet all the way back up. I guess it'll depend what height your chair is at. But now we're going to turn the chair so that the seat is facing us. And we're going to do pretty much the same thing. This will be more like a chair downward dog. You can either have the hands on the top of the chair seat or to bring them to the side. I like to hold the sides of the chair seat. Make sure at least 2 of your chair legs are on your mat so it doesn't slide. And then walk your feet back. Feet are hip distance apart. Stretch your hips back. Stretch your arms forward. Breathe. So I definitely feel this one more in the back of my legs, but I'm still getting a good shoulder stretch as well. Keep breathing. Inhale, walk those feet all the way back up. And come to stand. All right. That worked out really well for me. I hope it worked out well for you. Obviously, we're working with different chairs likely, but that was a nice stretch for my shoulders. All right, turn that chair back around. We're coming now into our Parsvottanasana. So let's take that right foot forward, left foot back. We want to bring our hip bones forward toward the chair, bringing the back heel into the floor and finding your stability. If you're like me, I just about fell over, my goodness. All right, keeping those hip bones toward the back of the chair. Shoulders are back. Spine is long. As you exhale, we're folding forward. Once again, using that chair as a support so we can really extend those arms forward, reach the hips back nice and evenly. I want you to think about bringing your left hip bone forward, your right hip bone back. Stretch, feel the stretch all the way through the sides of the body. Obviously, this is more of a leg stretch in this leg position. Breathe into any tightness. And then bend your front knee. Walk your feet in. And we're going to reset for the other side. So now our left foot is forward, your right foot is back. Bringing those hips forward toward the chair. Plant your back heel. Keep pressing down through that back heel. As you inhale, shoulders roll back, standing tall. Exhale to fold forward. Hips reaching back, arms stretching forward. Make sure the head isn't dropping. Keep the ears lined up with the arms. Inhale, bend your front knee, walk your feet in, and come to stand. Excellent. So we're doing obviously a little bit less of a flow practice today because I really wanted to just focus on stretching that targeted our shoulders, and some of them are a little more prop heavy, as you can see. So you can sort of shake that off. That was a lot of shoulder opening, sort of one way. We're going to work with Gomukhasana next. Release Gomukhasana arms. So bring the belt and place it over your right shoulder. Standing tall in Tadasana, mountain pose. Plant those feet. As you inhale, sweep the right arm up. Bend the right elbow, and then just take the left hand to the top of that elbow. Holding onto the belt with your right hand, sweep your left arm behind you, also reaching for the belt. Now, if you can reach your fingers, you can do that instead. Otherwise, you want to keep your right elbow pointing up, your left elbow pointing down. Oops, out of the frame a little. Let's take a couple of breaths here. And then as you exhale, release the arms. Shoulders get a little shake out. Switch the belt to the other side. Left arm reaches up, elbow bends, right hand to the top of the elbow. Hold on to the belt with the left hand, sweep the right arm behind you, and breathe. You might notice one side is different than the other, so on this side my hands do not get almost as close together. Make sure your head's not being pushed forward by that top arm. Exhale to release, let that one go. Good. All right, we're going to come into our triangle pose next. So you might want your chair seat for this triangle pose because we are going to do an arm bind on that top shoulder. So I'm going to move my chair to this side actually. You're going to take your big wide step with your feet and we're going to be moving with the right foot forward first. So have the chair in front of your right leg. Right toes point out toward the chair. Inhale, stretch those arms open wide. As you exhale, side bend. You can bring the right hand down to the chair seat. Make sure you're keeping your legs straight. Now, instead of keeping your top arm straight up to the sky like we usually do, you're going to tuck it behind you. So take the back of your hand all the way to your lower back. If you have long arms like me, you might be able to see those fingers tucking out. You're going to roll that top shoulder back. Bring it down away from the ears. Feel that stretch in the shoulders. Feel how open your chest is. If you need to, you can take the hand lower, but you might be more comfortable on the chair. You might be able to bring the gaze up toward the ceiling here. Inhale to untuck that arm. Come all the way up. Right foot forward, left foot out. You need to move your chair. Move your chair. Legs stay nice and straight. Heels are lined up. Inhale, arms extend. Exhale, side bend. Left hand to the chair seat or onto your leg or a block. Right arm is going to tuck around. Roll your right shoulder up and back. This shoulder is definitely the tighter one for me. Keep breathing. Chest is open. Shoulders are still stacked, one on top of the other. Inhale to untuck that arm. Come all the way up. Feet forward and together. Take a breath. All right, checking my time. I think we're going to start wrapping this up shortly. So we're going to make our way back down toward the floor. You can come toward the front of your mat. We'll take a little flow to get down to the floor. Take a deep inhale, stretch up. Feel those shoulders. Hopefully they're feeling looser than when we started. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale to your half forward fold. Hands to the shins, looking forward, lengthening through the spine. Exhale, plant your hands, and we're walking our feet back to downward facing dog. So feet walk back, hips stretch up. Take a few breaths. Exhale to lower the knees down to the floor. Now, before we come into a rest, I'm going to challenge you to one more pose today. That's going to be a big shoulder opening. So we're going to work with pinch a dog. You're going to take your elbows down to the floor. Now, you want to make sure your elbows are shoulder width apart. So you want the elbows to line up right under your shoulders. If your elbows go too wide, you lose that strength and stability here. So you have the hands, the forearms, and the elbows shoulder width apart. You can either have the hands flat on the floor, or some people like to interlace the fingers, your choice. Curl the toes, keep those elbows down, and lift up and back, just like you do for downward dog. Stretch the shoulders back, hips up. And breathe. I can't see you, but I'm imagining you're all doing awesome. Hold for one more breath. And then take your knees down, knees coming wide, toes together, and rest in your child's pose. If it's more comfortable after all that work in the shoulders, you might take the arms just beside you, or even stack the palms, have the palms or the hands under the head. All right, inhale, come all the way up. And I think we're going to flip over onto our back. So have your block nearby. We're going to do a supported bridge here shortly. Otherwise, laying down with the knees bent, the feet on the floor. Let's not have anything under our head, because when we do our bridges, either supported or active, we don't want to have anything compromising the neck. So just take a couple of breaths. Letting the back body rest into the floor. We're going to start with an active bridge here. So just making sure your feet are hip distance apart. Either your knees and ankles line up, or you might be able to tickle the back of your heels with your fingers. Now for today's arm placement, you have a few choices. You can have the elbows bent, fingers reaching up to the ceilings, palm facing one another. You can have the arms down beside you to start, palms down. But when we lift up, if you'd like to bring the arms together, keeping them straight and tucking the shoulders a little more, that's going to give you more of a lift through the chest and the shoulder area. So that's going to be the variation I choose today. So pressing through the feet, pressing through the shoulders, backs of the arms, keep those shoulders down. And then if you'd like, slide your fingers together. Now it's important that you tuck the upper arms under the body a little bit more, keeping the elbows straight, pressing the knuckles toward the heels, and keeping the baby fingers on the floor. So don't let those hands reach up. If they can't stay down, you might want to unlink the fingers and just keep the palms flat on the floor. Keep breathing. Release the hands if they're interlaced underneath you, and everybody slowly lower your hips down to the mat. Take a breath. All right, let's come into our supported bridge. Remember, your block can be on whatever height works best for you today. I'm going to choose the lowest height actually today for myself. Sliding your block under the sacrum. Once the hips are resting, arms can relax beside you, but roll the palms up to the ceiling so that the shoulders can stay rolled open. I'll stay here for about a minute and a half today, so just letting the hips rest, letting the shoulders rest. The end of your exhale, press into your feet, lift your hips, sliding your block out from underneath you. Let's give those knees a hug in toward the belly, toward the chest, a little rock and roll, side to side. And then open the arms out at shoulder height like the letter T, palms turning up toward the ceiling and letting those knees drop toward the left side to the floor or sliding a block underneath them. Releasing into your twist. Shoulders heavy, hips and spine are soft, belly is soft. Inhale the knees up to center and exhale them to the other side. Inhale the knees up to center and make your way into your final Shavasana. Choosing whatever Shavasana position feels best for you today. Letting the eyes close. Totally resting. Noticing where your mind is, and if it's left the present moment, bring it back into the space. Starting to wiggle your fingers and your toes, waking your body back up. You can bend your knees, bringing your feet to the floor. Slowly making your way onto your side, using your arm as a pillow if you'd like, and taking a breath or two there. And then slowly making your way back up to sitting. Thank you guys so much for coming this morning and practicing with me. I hope you enjoyed the class. It was a little different than the usual classes I've been doing on live, a little more prop heavy and really just trying to target a specific area. So let me know. You can send me an email since the chat's not working, what you thought of that, if you'd like more things like that, or you want me to go back to more of the flow. I'm trying to make sure I give you guys classes that you really are looking forward to and that are really going to help you. So please give me your feedback. Namaste. Have a wonderful rest of the day, guys, and I'll be back for live on Tuesday evening at 6 o'clock. And there'll be a new upload on the YouTube channel on Monday as well. So that'll be my schedule. Monday, there'll be a new video uploaded. Tuesday evening, I'll do a live. And Thursday morning, I'll do a live. So stay healthy, everyone. I'm not going to hang around today because the chat doesn't seem to be working on my side at least. So I'm going to end it here. Have a great one. Bye.